everyone, and welcome back. I'm Charlie, I'm the oldest sister, and I do motorsports.
I am Jesse, I am the youngest, and I do football and darts.
And hold on, is someone back from his little trip away?
I'm back.
Why do you think it sounds so miserable? It's horrible.
Yo guys, I'm Carter, I'm a middle child, and I do boxing.
Yep, he's back from the Swiss Alps with all his absolute joyous adventure stories that no one wants to hear about. So,
Pretty much.
Which is why we're not going to talk about him.
Exactly.
So guys, when I was in France...
We love him. We love him really, slightly.
So, it's been a busy week in sports, guys. So I say, let's get into it. And we have a little saying we like to say.
Alright, I got it. Alright.
We can't shout it this time because it was an edit. It was absolute madness to actually edit the other week. Okay, ready?
We've got this.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Lights out on podcast on Charlie!
Well, I didn't actually hear that.
Charlie messed up. It was like Charlie's saying as well. Charlie
messed up and she actually said the F1 thing.
Oh my god.
I am like 90% certain I got that right, but...
Wow.
We'll get there eventually, guys.
Who wants to start this week?
Well, I think you should start, Jazz.
I will start this week. I am currently sat with a tea. I look like a sophisticated man.
In no way.
Because I am a sophisticated man.
In no
Because
way.
Derby County...
Oh, God.
have gone free on the trot.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like this, you know what? This should be a sports football. Like I should do all the football, but like it is too intense with Derby at the moment. Like three wins on the trot, and our first away win since God knows when. I can't even remember the last away win we've had. So. Yeah.
So this manager,
yeah,
He's a magic man.
Did you know what? I thought, like, this is where it gets hard for the podcast, because when we were losing a lot, I had something to rant about. But when they're doing well, I let all my celebrations out on the day, and now it just feels passionate. I just feel like I'm happy. Like, Derby County are that team.
What a horrible thing to think of, that you're happy.
I know, right? To be fair, it's hard, because... we are not out of the relegation zone yet. Mm-hmm. However, we are in the relegation zone and we've just gotten free on the trot. Cardiff and Stoke still have to play each other, meaning one of them is guaranteed to not get the full 3 points. Meaning if we can get our full 3 points when them two play each other, that looks pretty good for us.
Yeah.
In regards to the rest of
Incoming dog.
Yeah, oh my god. In regards to, you know what, I was going to go to rest of football, not just yet. We've got to speak more about Derby County.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Well, what are we thinking? Are we staying up?
I love the vibe. Yeah, I'd say I'll always have faith and I'll always back. So I reckon we'll stay.
I can confirm.
I think it will be a tough thing to call.
I think we will.
Why?
I don't think we'll do it like decimation, like we go these next games winning. However, we have got Stoke tickets on the final day.
Right.
Me, Dad and Car have all got the tickets for the final day.
Yeah.
A 12:30 kickoff.
Great.
I have a slight feeling. The thing about the Championship is, I've always said I think the Championship is the hardest league in the world. Yeah, probably the Prem, but no, Championship is. I stand by it.
Yeah.
Because look at the point. The points are always from the top to like playoff places and even like mid-table table. Sometimes it can be like the point can be like 10 in between. So it's always close. And then even in relegation, I think it's us up to Hull. I think it's us up to Hull. Us up to Hull, where it's there like we're quite close in points.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will be a decimation, and I think there is. I hope it goes down to the final day, and I'm there to watch us win.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm there and I watch Derby stay up and relegate Stoke, you will not hear from me for the next 3 days.
But if you go and watch and you don't beat Stoke,
You will not hear from me for the next 3 days.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be the same.
It's
different feeling, but it'd be the same
different feeling,
outcome.
same outcome. Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's very rare it goes down to the final day.
Okay.
I don't know why I've got that gut feeling that it's good because it's Derby fan. You have to predict the negative. Yeah.
so you're manifesting basically.
Okay, here's what I want. I'd like to go on the final day and we win. Yeah.
Right.
However, if we are. I can accept being safe before that because that would really hurt my soul if we were to be relegated on the final day and I'm there. But yeah, it's going good. Do you know what? This new manager had a rocky start, but I can finally see when watching these games that his football is coming into play.
Yeah.
You're not seeing this Paul Warne play. You're not seeing this respect for the other team. And I'm not saying it's disrespect to the other team, but Paul Warne had this style
It's
of football.
competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Warne had this style of football which I really hated. I remember seeing a tweet about it and I was there I don't tweet, and I was there I was going to tweet this. Paul Warne played with respect for the other team in a sense of he was there yeah, but this team's really good, so we'll hold it back, we'll score it. It's a goal of I'll score a goal and hold it back because this team you never know what they could do and whatnot. Well, Eustace Ball is we're Derby County.
Keep going.
We're here to win.
Yeah.
We're here to. It's like his mentality is you're on that pitch to win the game.
Yeah.
You're not.
Which is nice.
You're not on that pitch for that team to beat you. You're on that pitch for you to come out winning, and that is the mentality I love.
I mean, should that not be the mentality of any manager?
This is why I didn't like Paul Warne. Because
Anywhere.
a lot of the Paul Warne post-match interviews you'd hear and whatnot, yeah, he would go no, but they're a really good side with really good players, and I'm now how is Scunthorpe United or something? Well, we never played them, but is there these teams that aren't Derby County? We're a big club, and I think that the respect should have been given to us, and I think he looked at it more as I don't know, because he's not a Derby fan at heart. Obviously he's not, but
yeah.
I think Eustace has that mentality of I've played for Derby.
Yeah, he's got more passion in.
Yeah, I've played for Derby. He took Coventry up to playoffs. He's there I know mentally I can take a team up to the playoffs. Here's a team I've played for before, so I know the fan base. I think his mentality is fully we are Derby County and we are here to win games. We are here to conquer. We are the Rams, and that is the mentality I love. And it's nice because 3 wins on the trot. This is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Because I think we've laid ourselves in a very good position now to get out of the relegation zone. It isn't us winning anymore. Well, obviously, yes, we have to win.
Yeah.
We're waiting for a slip up. We are waiting for a slip up from Cardiff, Stoke, or any of the ones that are out of the relegation zone at the moment. I will have to look at the tables shortly. But yeah, I, as far as Derby County goes, I'm very proud to be a Derby fan. I think the last few podcasts I've not been the happiest.
Last podcast you were very happy as well.
Yeah, but the one before I wasn't the happiest.
No.
It was a miserable feeling. And do you know what? I think I used being a Derby fan like a poo analogy or something like that. Yeah,
it was horrific.
Yeah, it was horrific. ADHD took over, but
I wasn't there for that one, was I?
No, you were away somewhere. We don't know where.
Do you know what?
France,
I love how Derby
France.
makes me feel. Derby makes me feel. On the bad days, horrible, but on the good days, amazing.
Oh, that's such a horrible way of going with your mental health.
You know what? Yes. I will... Yeah, but... there's nothing more I can say, really, because I think the issue with me, I don't know what it is. I don't know if anyone has this mentality as well, but it is going great.
Okay.
But it could go so wrong at the end of this season,
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
You need to have something else that makes you feel happy, other than a sports team, because otherwise you will be depressed.
So that's the horrible part.
Charlie's a Ferrari fan. She understands how it works.
I've gone through this.
So as far as talking about Derby goes, I just want to say up the Rams.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope by the end of this season we're on a podcast doing a celebratory for the Derby.
Fingers
for the
crossed.
Rams. Yeah. We can only hope. In the other news in football, Thomas Tuchel's first England squad has been announced.
Yeah, go on.
Oh my god.
Jordan Henderson got selected.
Oh, I knew you were going to talk about this.
Yes. Now, I get his reasoning. I don't
How do you get
agree
his
with it.
reasoning anyway?
I think his reasoning is he's not using him as a player. It's more, in his words, a brotherhood in the team. And Jordan Henderson is meant to, from what I've heard, he was a great captain for Liverpool, and I do really think that he is good for the mentality. However, what are you going to do? Declan Rice needs subbing off, so you're going to chuck on Jordan Henderson. It's
also,
not
like saying that about it's good for the mentality. Their mentality should be they're playing a match to win. You don't need to have Jordan Henderson in the middle going,
It was brotherhood. It's something like brotherhood. I remember seeing it. It was like something along with the lines of brotherhood.
Yeah, but they should build a team then that has brotherhood. They don't need to have one specific player who can't really play anymore be brought in to help with brotherhood when the boys should already have that together.
But
Also, we have a lot of young people that never played with Henderson, so it's pointless to say brotherhood because there's people that never played with him.
I also the only I don't get the Jordan Henderson one. I don't I can understand it. I don't agree with it. I would if I was England manager, which would never happen. However, if I was England manager, never in a million years. The only other one as well, which is controversial.
Go on.
Marcus Rashford.
Oh, well, he is playing quite well for Aston Villa.
I've stayed by this since he was at United. Everyone says sorry.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably been bleeped out. A bad player in words. I actually did stand by him. I said I think he is an amazing player, but the mentality of Man United ruined him.
Yeah.
I when he went to Villa, I even said the word world class to my mate Jordan, who's a Villa fan.
You said that to me, to be fair. Yeah.
He's not. I wouldn't say he's world class, but he has been amazing. He's been playing amazing.
Yeah.
Do I think he deserves an England call up? If he starts, this is where this game Friday against Albania will be big. Not big, but I just want just so I can see the way he thinks. Because again, it is qualification. But I think my mindset, if I was a manager, would be qualify, then chuck out a practice team. Just qualify first. Don't mess about. Just get yourself qualified. Then you can chuck out the practice teams. Then you can chuck out like tactics you want to try out with the England squad. Just qualify. If he starts Rashford over, I think Anthony Gordon should be our left winger. He's got pace, and to be fair, every time I've seen him in English, he does cause issues for the other team.
Could it? So they're obviously adding Henderson as a brotherhood aspect. Would Rashford not be a better argument for a brotherhood aspect?
No,
because he's in the age group where he's too old to be with the younger lads, but old enough to have worked with the old lads, but still young. Kind of like he's in that in between age. Whereas Henderson will not have worked with any of the young lads.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Henderson played
Rashford
with like
would have been in between all of it.
George Best, and he played with Bobby Charlton. The guys.
No, but you know what I mean. Like he's not like Henderson wouldn't have played with like Gordon, and it's different.
Right,
whereas Rashford will have.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do. We've not done this yet, and because England is coming up.
Okay, God.
England formation, okay, or just players on the team. Who are your guaranteed players? Who are your guaranteed starting 11 for the England
Charlie,
squad?
do you know what a centre mid is?
Shut up.
Do you actually know what a centre mid is?
I know what position
Do you know what
that is.
CAM is?
I don't know.
CDM.
I don't know.
A cam.
Yeah, no,
Just say cam.
Yeah, no, I know what a cam is because isn't what's his name?
I know who you're going to say as well.
Jude Bellingham.
Yes,
he's cam. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I personally, the guaranteed starters for me for England. Yeah.
Go on.
Harry Kane.
No. Go on.
He's not guaranteed for me.
What?
No.
What?
Harry Kane.
What? Harry Kane is the best striker in the world right now. He is.
I would say he is. Yeah.
He is. He's the best striker in the world. Not having him.
Yeah, he's great if he stays in his box. However, he doesn't stay in his box. So then
Stop
there's the issue.
copying what
Dad,
our
yeah.
father says.
It's Harry Kane. You can't
It's
not
Harry
have him.
Kane.
I trust
think-
the man's opinion.
You know what? Shout out to my father here. During the, Jude's famous bicycle kick,
Yeah,
he is the only person in that pub in the night, like the entire way through. Even when we were like seconds away from being knocked out, he's the only person to support that England squad. I think Bukayo Saka. Guarantee.
Yeah,
I think he has
Saka,
Jude Bellingham. I think Declan Rice. I'd say Trent in right back. I really like Trent. You know what? I'm not fond of all the goalkeepers, but I think Pickford's a guarantee for me. I think every time he's got an England shirt on, it's great. To be honest, it's not. Other than these, there's not really a lot of guarantee because I wouldn't guarantee Phil Foden in the squad. I wouldn't guarantee Cole Palmer, actually, yeah.
I was going to say Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer, yeah. You can't
Is Cole
not.
Palmer aware of where England is? I always make this joke. Cole Palmer is one of the thickest people I've ever seen in my
You
life.
can't keep having this talk. We cannot keep having the argument of people being stupid because it looks bad when the thickest person within this sibling group
Whoa.
I was gonna say, I love, like, I want to insult him right now, but I think I take the medal for the thickest one.
What
No,
was
I'm going in on this.
What? No.
No,
All right.
because funny enough,
I work in an office.
who's got their maths and English GCSEs?
Oh,
Never
true
took
that.
it. He never
True
took
that,
it.
yeah.
He never took it. He never took it.
I didn't
He never
take
took
it.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
No,
you never took
I
exam.
never said I did take it, but did I pass it?
Well, you never took it. You never took it.
I did. I know. Maybe COVID did me a few favours. Do I deserve to have my GCSEs?
No.
Probably not. In my media test, did I just write an entire rant piece on my teacher and get a U? Yes. But did that affect my maths and English? No. So you know what? Hey, we're here. But you know what? In other news in football, Man United won.
Yeah.
Arsenal beat Chelsea. To be honest, there's not a lot of big news. I will have to do more sections of bigger news, but I don't think it was that big of a week for football.
Surely you have one. You've not even talked about it.
Go on.
The cup final.
Oh, do you know what? We were watching that live as well.
we
What
watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what has actually just mortified me? I was on Twitter a minute ago and it was Geordies reacting to the cup final when it was my drunk ones, and it was this guy screaming, sausage, yeah? And then the clip ends, just before it ends, it cuts to his mate, and he's just got his mate bent over and he's doing basically doing inappropriate things with his man.
God.
Like, and that's their celebratory way. Newcastle first win, I think it was in 70 years. First domestic cup win in 70 years. We watched Champions League last week. Liverpool knocked out by PSG.
Yeah, we did watch
At the
that,
FA Cup.
Yeah.
So you know what? They're gonna win the Premier League, but you know what?
I didn't watch that.
Me and Char did.
We did.
Oh right.
Yeah.
You know, we did because we're the closer people here.
Yeah, so
You were too busy.
I think Newcastle deserved it, to be fair. They were a better side, and also it was nice to see Newcastle win. I actually quite like Newcastle because the fan base is always supportive. The Wembley was just a sea of black and white. Black and white as well relates to Derby, so we got somewhat of a brotherhood there.
Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
I don't think
celebrate.
Saw
him celebrate.
He was absolutely
Why,
steaming.
man?
Yeah,
Did you see his tweets after the game?
You could tell, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? There's not really much to say about it other than well done, Newcastle. I think well done to the Magpies. The Champions League quarterfinals have been drawn.
Yeah.
I would just like to know your predictions as well.
Okay.
It's the big quarterfinals. To begin with, I'll begin with a big one: Arsenal and Real Madrid.
Yeah. Next one.
PSG and Aston Villa.
Next one.
No, Villa.
I'm going to back Villa only because I like Aston Villa,
Yeah.
but
PSG.
it's like one of them realistically PSG.
Bayern Munich and Inter Milan.
Bayern Munich. I mean, Inter Milan could win. They could much, but Bayern Munich.
Barcelona and Dortmund.
Yeah, all right.
All right, we'll get to your semis then. The semis, in your opinion, then would be Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Did you say PSG or Villa?
What answer do you want? A realistic one or?
I genuinely think Villa is going to beat PSG.
Yeah, go on then, Villa.
Real Madrid or Villa?
What's the next one?
Barcelona or Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich.
I think Barcelona's going to win the Champions League.
I think Bayern Munich's going to win the Champions League.
Am I going to say it? I think it's going to be an El Clasico final. Real Madrid versus
You know
Barcelona.
what? Realistically, every time I think about Champions League final, I'll be thinking El Clasico. That's just how it is. But no, I'm going to say Bayern Munich. I reckon in his it's not his first league, but I reckon his first wins are going to get Champions League and a Bundesliga.
I could see it. What, Kane?
Kane's going to get double.
I think Barcelona is winning the Champions League this season, so I will.
It's highly possible. And
El
Real
Clasico
Madrid
final.
is obviously just stupid. They'll just collect a 400th Champions League.
You know what? I think altogether, I think Villa will make it to the semi-finals. I think that's my big prediction.
Yeah.
Come on, up Villa, but more importantly, up the Rams.
Exactly.
And going to my second sport now.
Oh, hang on. Actually, allow me to
I don't want
introduce your
to.
second sport. Seeing as, I'm so sorry, but this week, who got every single match
I put
right?
on. In fact, I'm so happy you said that because you can make a little bit of your tit of yourself. You didn't get every match right.
You told me I got every single match right.
I thought you did, but then Dad had the podcast on upstairs and I realised you got one wrong.
Oh, my apologies, I got one wrong. However, the final, which is the most important,
Indeed.
I got bang on.
Yes, you did. You did predict Gezi correct. Earlier in this podcast,
Although it does make me upset because obviously I am a little fan. I love that lad, but I do like Gerwen Price. So.
earlier in this podcast, Charlie said you need something else to keep you happy because Derby can make you really depressed.
So I took away darts from
I
me.
had darts. I did have darts. This podcast has took that away from me.
Have you ever got it correct?
I don't think I have.
so.
I don't think I have
I've
got it right
definitely
yet.
got
I
it
think-
more correct than here.
I think I've got
100%.
one right, possibly two.
I think I've got
You've
three
got
right.
3. Dad's got like 4. I don't think the one person talking about darts has
Got
actually got an
darts
eye right.
right.
Yeah, do you know what it was as well? When we were predicting last week, I believe I mentioned to you, my heart says Gezi, but I need to win one of these. I said I need.
You said Van
I,
Gerwen, yeah.
I need to get one of these. He is due one.
Well, it
Gerwen,
wasn't last week.
Gerwen Price. I don't know if anyone agrees with it, but he is easily my favourite darts player. But even if he's not your favourite, and it's so good to see him doing well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon. People that boo him. I reckon are all fans of him, but they boo him
For the sake of
Like,
that's what it
yeah.
is.
because I think he wants it to, like, he wants to be booed. So you can't boo him and you go, if I like him, just carry on anyway. Carry
Yeah,
on
because
booing.
if you
like,
cheer for him, he might do poorly. So you
Yeah.
kind of got to boo because it's just normal now.
probably stop you and go, no, keep
Keep
it.
it.
Well, it's like when he was playing Stephen Bunting, the crowd were on him.
Yeah.
The crowd were just having him, yeah. And every time he did something well, he'd give it to the crowd. He just got better.
Yeah.
So I think he is one that just feeds up the crowd. However, he's my favourite darts player, and it was so nice to see him do well, and it was so nice to see him win. Aspinall was the second of mine, to be
Yeah.
fair. But, God, it's just... I couldn't get one. I just couldn't get one right, man. I think I got all of the first 4 wrong.
I just
other
really
than Littler.
liked the group chat after. was just so much anger from Jesse,
I was out, wasn't I?
disbelief from Carter, and me the next morning being like, wait, what happened?
I was...
I was right.
So, unfortunately, I couldn't actually get the reactions because I was I was at the Mighty Iron. When I saw Gezi actually win, I can't repeat what I said to my mates here, but I told them about the prediction and whatnot. I've just gone, for something's sake, I'm going to say, and then he checks out on the double with the first start. You know what? It is. Should we just get out of the way? Let's just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Jesse,
let's just
I'll
do
say,
the predictions now.
when you do predictions, as soon as you have an answer in your mind and you go, I'm going to go for that one, go for the other person, and you might get it. Yeah, you might get it correct.
You know,
If you think we'll win, don't go for
Yeah,
them.
go.
We're
for that other
gonna
person.
start. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this way. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna start with Cart. Chris Dobie and Stephen Bunting.
Stephen.
You reckon he's gonna get his first win?
Sorry,
He's not won yet.
he's not won a round.
He's not won a round yet in.
What?
Chris Dobie?
Yeah, Chris Dobie has. Yeah. Stephen Bunting's
Jesus.
the only one on 0
Yeah,
points.
Steve Bunting. Yeah.
Luke Humphries versus Mighty Michael Van Gerwen.
You see, I always go for Humphries. I just feel like Van Gerwen's going to get win, but I'm going to back Humphries.
Humphries. Littler or Aspinall?
Littler.
Price or Cross?
Price.
Bunting or Humphries?
Humphries.
Littler or Price?
Price.
Price or Humphries?
Humphries.
Ooh.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Dobie or Bunting?
Dobie.
Humphries or Van Gerwen?
Van Gerwen.
Littler or Aspinall?
Littler.
Price or Cross?
Price.
You went Dobie or Van Gerwen?
Van Gerwen.
Littler or Price?
Littler.
Van Gerwen or Littler?
Littler. I'm going back.
Okay.
I'm going back to my roots.
We were controversial on the first two.
In fact, Van Gerwen.
okay.
See, I wanted to go.
changed it and he just went.
I wanted to go Van Gerwen against Humphries.
Yeah.
I think he might win,
I'm
but
going to say Van Gerwen.
I have a feeling he's going to win, but I'm going to back Humphries.
Van Gerwen's not won one yet, has he?
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's won one.
He's due a night. He's not won a night.
not won a night?
He's got to be due one.
Yeah.
I've been saying. Me and Dad have been saying this for weeks. Bunting, no, Adobe. I'm gonna go Bunting.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the bullet. Humphries.
Wait. Is that your opinion, Bunting?
I do actually think.
Dobie's going to win.
I actually think Bunting.
I'm confident already.
Yeah,
Van Gerwen or Humphries. Do you know what every part of me has been saying for the past weeks? He's due a win, yeah, and I want to say it's going to be him, but I'm going to go Humphries.
I'm going to go Van Gerwen.
I'm going to go Humphries.
Definitely going to be right this week.
Littler or Aspinall, Littler.
Oh, damn it.
Right, they're not as known, unfortunately. But it's Fundora versus Booker. Both got very, very good records. Both got one loss each. And they're obviously going for a welterweight championship to hold dual championship belts, which is going to be good.
Bunting. I think Bunting's actually going to make it to a final. I think Bunting's going to make it to a final. And then I think it's going to be Littler versus Gezi. Price is Littler's bogeyman. I'm going to go.
He did beat him, though.
He's beaten him more times. I'm going to go Price.
Okay.
Price Bunting final. And I'm going to say Price is going to win his third night.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be royally wrong on this, aren't I?
Yeah, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So we're all confident now that Price isn't going to win.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah, because Jesse said it.
Sorry, Gerwen Price.
Yeah.
It's
you know
not
what?
your
Say
night.
sorry now,
It's not your
yeah.
night.
The predictions are done.
Blame Jesse.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah.
I'm done. I've tapped
Go
out.
on.
Whoever wants it now can have it.
Go on, Carl.
Yeah, I suppose. I haven't got a whole bunch again. Probably the same as last week. Probably just recapping on what we've already said and the upcoming fights. Haven't got too many, no championship fights, no big named fights, but we'll just talk about the ones in the
I mean, there is a big one that we could actually talk about this week.
Well, it's not this week.
No, as in, but we could talk about it this
It's
week.
in a few weeks, but we could talk about it, yeah.
Because we haven't talked about it at all.
Should we just get the ones out of the way that are, like, somewhat important?
I mean, none of them are really that important, let's
I don't
face
know,
it.
we've got a Super Welterweight Championship fight, WBC and WBO. It's decent. The welterweight, it's not as famous as any other one, so it's in my personal opinion, I'm going to put it on Booker winning. I think he'll win in rounds, in points. I don't think there'll be much of a knockout in that weight, but I think Booker's going to win on points. Again, we have Sandy Ryan hailing from Derby.
Oh,
From
yeah,
our
Sandy.
very own city.
Yes, Sandy. You know Sandy.
Sandy.
Oh, you're so funny.
Sandy.
They got them fighting at welterweight again. Unfortunately, even though she's a Derby girl. And I'm going to say she's going to win because she's a Derby girl, and I'm going to back her.
God, your loyalties just get you wrong every single time, don't they?
Pretty much. Maya, which is who she's facing, hailing from America,
Oh, God.
has over double a better record than Sandy Ryan. So it's not looking good, Brev.
It's not looking good,
Brev. But you know what? She's from Derby, so we're going to back Sandy Ryan.
KSI.
KSI.
Now
KSI.
we'll talk about KSI.
Yes! Come on! The best boxer of this generation! Yes!
So KSI and Dylan Dennis are...
Who? Dylan Dennis?
Oh
Who's
my-
like Dylan Dennis?
He would mess up Ali, he would. Mike Tyson, Ali at the same time. Bang! Bang! Mate.
KSI
Honestly.
would be all over it.
I mean, both of them could.
So
Yeah.
This is like
They
two
could tag team it and he still would win.
This is two titans going at it. in
Yeah.
the
You know what's
middle of a
funny
ring.
is that the biggest match coming up in recent times, next month at some point, will be Eubank Ben.
Oh, big good fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's not even going to have half as many views as KSI.
I think it'll get quite a lot.
It'll get a lot.
Not
It
in
will get a lot.
comparison to KSI.
I would also like to say, I don't know if you lot know this, but Roman Fury, Tyson Fury's brother and Tommy Fury's brother, is fighting
Yeah,
on
on
this
the undercard,
on the
yeah.
Oh
undercard.
my God. It's another
That is
Fury.
true. He is fighting.
He's facing Chase Demore. Remember the guy that hit somebody when they were down?
No.
Do you not
In
remember?
no way.
No, Chase Demore. He did. He was on Love Island, I believe.
No, it was too
that's
hot to handle.
Tommy
Too hot to handle.
Oh, Too Hot to Handle. That's
Yeah.
one. Yeah, the guy's mentally not there, to say the least.
He's entertainment
He
gold,
doesn't.
though.
He's entertainment gold. He just doesn't understand how anything works, to be fair. He didn't understand how the show worked. Didn't understand how boxing
too hot
works.
to handle?
Oh, yeah, no, Char, I'm not sure he knows what a water bottle is.
He's so
Snog
good,
someone
though.
and you might actually get some money. It's not hard to understand the concept of it.
No, he wouldn't understand that.
Okay.
He wouldn't get it. He just doesn't understand much.
Right.
He's quite funny to watch while boxing. But, you know, KSI, they always put on a good show. Sometimes they're even better than watching normal boxing. Normal boxing nowadays is a lot of technique and a lot of skill. Less going in and then trying to knock the other person out and fully going all, you know, defence is always up. A lot of technique.
Oh, yeah, because KSI really seems to go for it in his fights and not just, you know...
Wait, can I ask a question?
They have no defence. They just kind of swing, and they do get knockouts because they just swing and
They don't get
hit.
knocked
Can I
out in
ask
any way.
two questions to Carter? Because Carter doesn't
Not
have a
unless he
lot.
elbows him.
Carter doesn't have a lot to speak about this week, and he needs his section. Yeah, so I'm going to ask you two questions, and then we need your boxing opinion on it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one is influencer boxing good? In general, is it good for the sport? Is it good? Do you reckon it's good entertainment? Do you reckon that influencer boxing should stay and it is genuinely good entertainment?
Yeah.
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 Obviously, hurting to say that.
Yeah, reluctantly and really
I love it
annoyingly,
personally. I love
I'm
it.
going to say yes because it gets more people into a sport. If you're not a fan of boxing, and like kids aren't fans of boxing, but are fans of the influencers, so you watch the influencers box, and then they start like boxing, there's more fans there liking boxing because they watch your influencers. So yeah, it's good for the sport, and obviously the stadiums they fill out and the tickets they sell, and it is entertaining. You get more knockouts in influencer boxing than you do in normal fights. Honestly, it's true. You know, they're not boxers, so they don't understand. They can't take a punch, so they will get knocked out if they hit. They have no defence, so they will get hit. And that's both sides, both people fighting. It's good, it's fun, it's very fun to watch. It's a good little night.
And
I do hate, though, the fact that I do a boxing... I talk about boxing and I've got to mention influence boxing. It does annoy me, but it is good for a sport, so I will.
Second question. Mm-hmm. Recently I watched a Mams Taylor, who runs Misfits, yeah. He's been talking about... the names of boxing events, yeah. The one coming up is called Unfinished Business, yeah. Do you think what is more, what I'll call the WWE style, should come into boxing in a sense of instead of pay-per-view names, instead of having like a 101 or something like that?
Yeah, but let's face it, that KSI, I can't remember who was he in the ring with, and it turned into like a WWE thing, and it's so embarrassing.
That's bad.
That
If that kind of stuff carries on, then I'll have to change the answer to the last question of no influence.
Do you know what? Here's what I think should come into boxing. Yeah, because I think better walk-ons. Because I hate, you know, when they just walk.
Such a WWE.
I am. I love WWE, but don't get me. I think it's like because do you know when you just see them and they're walking through the crowd, they've got the hood up, like, just doing all that.
Yeah, it's boxing.
Yeah, it's boxing. But imagine like Tyson Fury comes out and like the whole stadium erupts with fireworks or something like that.
With a trade theme tune.
Yeah, imagine.
No,
imagine that would be
Jesse.
sick. That would be
have
sick.
theme songs, but
Not themes.
But boxing, dude. Tyson Fury does walk out with fireworks, and he does like walk out with masks, and he has a Gypsy King, and he came out on a bed, like on a throne once. People carried him. Deontay Wilder used to do the mask, and he used to do it like dead dark. He had dancers around. Alexander Usyk always plays into the Ukrainian. He's got the traditional clothes and stuff. They all do proper walkouts.
I would say this now. Outfits are pretty good in boxing as well. You have a lot of people who now are getting their outfits a lot better. But the one I would say is the pay-per-view names. I personally don't like it when it was UFC 20 something or like that. I like a good name. I like a good name on a pay-per-view. Do you know? Unfinished Business. No, that is it's corny. Like
it's very confusing as well because like if you want to look back on a fight or talk about a fight night, UFC. I know you might not like it, but it is easy to say UFC 279. I don't know UFC enough to talk about it. I don't know who fought, but UFC 279. Guarantee someone fought, and you'd be like, oh, that was the main headliner. You could talk, and you can go for the undercard. You'll know. Boxing, you can go for undercards if you go for the main headline. Mike Tyson, Vander Holyfield. You go on there, you can see undercards. You've got that title. It'll be confusing if you start having names. It just would.
I don't know.
Weirdly be confusing
because it's like I personally think I like the titles of like having something with like a name like that stands out. Like it is like with wrestling, for example. I have to bring it up again. It is with wrestling, WrestleMania or something like that. You got SummerSlam, or you say it, and then there's a whole event around it. The fight.
Yeah, but it's literally the same thing. It's just unfinished business rather than WrestleMania. It's the same
but the reason the reason I quite like it is because. Don't you think that it's not built around two people then?
No.
Because it's like if Fury and Usyk were to fight again, or Joshua and Fury, the undercard, like it should be an event. It shouldn't be just a fight. It should be an event.
But it is an event. That's what I'm saying. Like when they walk out, Fury and Usyk, when they both walked out, they had like full-on walkouts. They had full-on. They had songs going. They had traditional Ukraine, English songs. Tyson Fury, I'm pretty sure, sang for one of his like ages ago.
That was because of his win. That was horrible.
No, they did it afterwards, but I'm pretty sure he did a walkout once when he sang. And they always, they have. I'm pretty sure some boxers have like professional musicians come out and sing their theme songs and stuff. They do make a proper name. It's not just influencers. Proper boxers, they do have proper walkouts, especially if it's a championship fight. Why not? You're only going to get about one time to do it, so they do make a big deal out of it. So I wouldn't say. It's just influencer. I'd say real boxers do proper have it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, should we just say quickly, who do you reckon is going to win? Dylan Dennis, KSI?
Dylan Dennis.
KSI.
Dylan Dennis was embarrassing against Logan Paul. He can't box, but he just tried to like wrestle and kick, and I imagine he's going to do the same thing. So he'll either he'll kick and then get disqualified and KSI wins, or I don't think KSI is going to knock him out. I just think he'll just get disqualified and like kick or something. Maybe embarrassing, but whatever. It's a nice little thing to watch, a bit of fun.
Bit of fun.
So the final one to talk about again is the Eubank Ben. They've had their interview on Piers Morgan. They've had a bit of an argument there. Eubanks refused to shake his hand because he doesn't respect him. A bit of an argument again about the dads and stuff. It's a full-on feud, and that's going to be a good fight because they've both got their father's feud. They've got their feud. They've been wanting to fight a couple of times. Drug test failure. It's been a long time. That's going to be a good fight. I personally think Eubanks is going to win. It's got the size advantage. It's got more experience, and to be fair, they're both bad boxers. But I think Eubanks just that's fine. He's probably going to get the win. But yeah, there's not much more to talk about boxing, unfortunately. So I'll pass on to Charlie. She can talk about something that I can also.
Something happened this week, boys. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with being very, very quick, just to say MotoGP, Marc Marquez won second. I believe it's the first time since 2017 that a driver has won both first and second race. Anyway, I really want to talk more about that, but so much happened about the sport that I genuinely do know so much about. I feel like I have to focus so much on F1 this weekend. So, firstly, practice, It was such a mixed bag as to who was really impressive, who did really well. Like everyone, single night.
One guy in particular, Charlie.
But no, in all the practices, different people showed up. Like different people were really impressive. Yeah. Obviously, then we had qualifying. Lando came pole. Again, though,
did he?
One that I really want to speak so highly of, Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah. Literally the biggest middle finger to Red Bull you could ever give was out qualifying Liam Lawson in the Red Bull, not by one space, not by two. No. By, was it 14 places?
I think it was 14, because I think Lawson was like 19th or something, wasn't he?
He was 18th or 19th, and Yuki came out like 5th. Yeah. I'm sorry, unreal, absolute king behaviour. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times more, Red Bull screwed up not putting him in the second seat.
I won't understand why they didn't do it.
I think it's mostly to do with the whole Audi argument, I think, but
I'm sure maybe
I don't know.
It's
no, not Audi. Sorry, Honda.
I imagine with it being Red Bull, there's probably a few dodgy back end deals as well. Christopher Horner would definitely.
I feel like Yuki only came on because obviously there was a Honda deal, and basically I think Yuki was sort of threaded into that, and then obviously with the fact that Honda's then going to be moving away into next year, 2026. So I think that's where it's going to come from, but I don't want to say for definite. But I do think not having Yuki Tsunoda in that second seat is now just proving to Red Bull how much they screwed up. Now, before I even go into the absolute madness, I just want to say a massive F you to Helmut Marko as well. We've all seen what he said this week, and let's start getting into it. So, we start off with the fact that on the formation lap, Isaac Hadjar, who I feel so bad for, a rookie as well.
Yeah.
Look, it happened. I'm not even going to argue the fact that as much as people say, yeah, well, he should, it's his first F1 debut, he should have been able to. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he is a rookie. It was a wet, well, it wasn't even wet at this point, it was a greasy track. So this was, obviously, it had rained, F2 and F3 had already driven down it, so you had rubber on there, then it was dry and then it was raining again. So you didn't have normal wet race, it was greasy racing. Not to mention then all of a sudden the rain had started again. So he genuinely, I think at the end of the day, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Helmut Marko's comment are disgusting, and so of a century that we're not even in anymore. Guys can cry, it's okay.
Well, I actually didn't hear. I don't know.
Basically, Helmut Marko said that it's really embarrassing that he cried, and he should have been more of a man about it. Basically, like, I'm sorry, but you're not in this century if you don't think a guy can cry. That's kind of,
Yeah.
That's a thought process that we really shouldn't have in this, era. So, as always, my feelings on Helmut Marko. I've said him a million times. I've not said him a million times in this podcast. I detest the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy to say that. I don't want to put bad energy out into the world, and I'm not going to do it again. But just to be clear, don't like the guy. Think he's a very bad person. So, Isaac Hadjar did that. Also, massive kudos to Anthony Hamilton, who went to go and find him and give him a hug. That was lovely, so lovely. To say as well that Lewis has been Isaac's hero since he was a child. How
to be fair, even if it wasn't your hero, all them F1 drivers that are on the track now would know Lewis Hamilton's son. You just would know, you'd recognise and say Lewis Hamilton's son. Even if you weren't a massive fan of Lewis Hamilton, the fact his dad is coming over to support
just give a
would
hug.
Mean amazing.
Yeah, it was so
nice
sweet, really lovely. So Isaac obviously lost it on the formation lap. We then had a delayed start, which, by the way, at 4:00 in the morning was actually a godsend because I didn't have time beforehand to go and make a cup of tea. So that was wonderful. That gave me 15 minutes to just run into that kitchen, make myself a drink, actually try and wake up, even though I was sat on the sofa like a zombie, which was wonderful. Then we had Jack Doohan lose his car on the first lap. This is going to be so complicated, so Jesse, hang in tight because seriously, this is so complicated. So then Jack Doohan loses
Jesse,
his seat.
Focus up.
So Isaac is with Red Bull sister team.
Okay.
Jack Doohan's with Alpine.
Okay.
So Jack Doohan loses his car on the first lap. Mm-hmm. This then leads to a safety car. Safety car comes down. Carlos Sainz, who was with Ferrari. Smooth operator.
Oh, I like it.
He was with Ferrari, he's now with Williams. He then loses his car during the safety car due to Doohan. So, admittedly, when I looked at, obviously, I think Isaac and Jack sort of had a more similar reason for losing the car. I think by the looks of it, they've sort of hit a grease or wet patch, maybe even on the white lines, added too much, torque and things like that, and it's just basically spun out.
Exactly.
Carlos Sainz definitely had too much torque when he went through a corner, and he definitely hit just a straight white line. Yeah. So that's basically meant he's just completely spun out, hit into the barriers as safely as he can.
Yeah.
So it's slightly different, but it is sort of the same thing. I think the rookies have gone into it a little bit too fast, maybe, whereas Carlos, I don't think he's gone in too fast, but I think the wheels have just hit that straight white line perfectly, which has meant the torque's gone up and he's just spun straight into a barrier. So slightly different reasons, but it does just show how I mean, everyone, I always think, I say everyone, I personally always think of Australian track as being quite a dry, easy to sort of racetrack, yet this just proves how difficult tracks can get and how dangerous it can be as well, because we're not even in to 3 laps and 3 cars are out.
Yeah.
So it just shows how quick the whole, track can change depending on temperature, conditions, everything like that. So that happens. Then we have Alonso, who I believe he went out on lap 34, which that's a big one as well. So Jesse, Alonso, you might know Alonso. He's at Aston Martin. He's the older gent.
He manages the Bayern Leverkusen as well.
No. Yes, that's one.
No. Okay, sure. So he goes out, I think it was on lap 34, but it was quite late in anyway. Then we had Bortoleto and Lawson out, I think again in 47. I don't want to say for definite that's where the laps were, but they were big ones as well. And granted, that also means that there was only 2 rookies that actually made it to the end of the entire race.
Is that Behrman?
So it was Behrman and Kimi. Now,
I was going to say them too.
Special mention to Kimi Antonelli, because Kimi Antonelli on his debut, so he's never raced a Formula 1 race ever. On his debut Formula 1 race dress, went P4. Now, it was originally going to get taken away from him. He was going to be P5. However, they argued it and he was reinstated as P4. So, he actually finished the race P4, which points-wise is mad.
Can I ask, statistically speaking, then, for a debutant or for a driver that went, you know how there is the top, the big 6 in football?
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, Forest getting in the Champions League right now is unheard of. Not unheard of, but it's insane. What in F1 for a player?
I actually do.
A racer.
I have a statistic for this for you.
A driver.
Okay.
I saw this the other day. He's number 6 in a debut race. The place to get. I don't think any driver in their debut they've never won a race.
No.
Lewis Hamilton and Schumacher, I believe, got P2, which obviously they're the 2 best. I think he's number 6 in the list because he got P4, 6
and
of
I
all
believe,
time in F1.
Weirdly, 5th in this, I believe, would that not be Kimi Räikkönen?
I think Raikkonen, I think Schumacher and Hamilton are there. If I'm right, I might have seen Vettel's face.
Who?
But I know Kimi, he is number 6 in the debut and the places, which is very impressive.
In the sense of football's big 6 is the Arsenal, the Man United. Who are the big 6 in F1? Who are the boys that if they're not in the top 5, you're like?
The thing is though, I wouldn't necessarily go by drivers. I would go by teams, because the thing is, your drivers could be having the most amazing week in the world. If the car's not up to scratch that week, it's not going to make a difference. So I would never say it's going to be, Arsenal's Lando or whatever like that. I would say you'd go by your team. So I would always say you've got Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull are your 4 main teams who are basically,
and that's only of recent time is Red Bull here within the last 15 years. Of all time,
less than that, I'd say.
It would be a big 3 would be Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes. They're probably of all time in F1.
Well, not even Mercedes, because Mercedes
maybe
is
not.
a reasonably recent
It'd
team.
arguable say them 2 are the biggest 2, Ferrari and McLaren, and then you got Mercedes, Red Bull, and Williams. Believe it or not, are kind of
To be fair, to go on to Williams actually quickly, Alex Albon, again, I've said it a million times, such an impressive racer. To say as well that he, as a driver, is in a Williams, which reasonably, Williams is, I want to say for the past 4 or 5 years, has not been a car that's been worthwhile of being anywhere up into the points. Yeah, Alex Albon has managed to put that car in the points every single time in an impressive way. Unfortunately, his other teammates have always been quite poor. He's got Carlos now. I genuinely think Williams is going to see a massive surge into seeing something where you think they're going from a midfield team or even a lower team to a proper contender at some point, without question.
I don't know proper contender, but I'm very impressed with what they're doing. I don't know if proper competitor.
Alex came out, I want to say, if Kimi got moved back up, I believe he came out P5. So either way though, that is insane for
we're not
for
mentioning
Williams.
this right now.
I know the dog's just
getting
maneuvering
involved.
himself everywhere.
The dog just.
Hey, baby.
That was funny. All right.
So another thing to mention as well. Obviously, last week we had our bets, didn't we, Jess?
Mm-hmm.
You said Hammy.
I did say Hammy.
Hammy came 9th. So
I did say Norris as well. I did say
you did say Norris as well. Yeah,
I did.
I actually said Piastri. Now I am heartbroken to talk about this, but I feel like we do need to talk about this. So the Aussie curse strikes again. Basically, Piastri obviously. So you didn't watch the race at all, did you?
It was at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
Me and
no, I didn't.
Me and Jesse watched about 20 laps in the morning. Very drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. We were here for a little bit.
Absolutely smashed,
Yeah.
We came out and we watched about 20 laps.
Well, I was like just half awake.
And then May fell asleep.
So Piastri basically went round a corner. It was, to be fair, Lando had also sort of made a mistake just moments before, but Piastri's mistake basically meant that his entire car went onto the grass. Now, in all fairness, it looked beached. It looked like you were not getting that car off. And he managed to reverse it, and I love the fact that Jeremy Clarkson's come out and been that's me teaching you how to reverse in a tractor, because in all fairness, he genuinely, I'm amazed that he got that out there. I genuinely thought that was the end of his race.
And he came 9th.
Sorry, it was Piastri came 10th. So mad impressive.
Very
that
sad.
Is absolutely...
And it's like post-interview talking about it was heartbreaking. It was very sad for him. It was very sad.
And he sort of blamed himself, but I think at the end of the day, there's no reason to blame yourself in that. I mean, I know I'm saying that obviously he is going to blame himself. That's the whole point of the competition. But it was gutting to see it. But I genuinely think that everyone keeps putting, is it Viva La Vida? Over him reversing. And I don't know why, but it gets me emotional when I watch it. So the big one was the fact that Lando Norris won. Love that. And also this means he is now officially the one who's broken the Verstappen curse, as I'm going to call it, because he's the one who is now leading the championship over Max Verstappen, which is massive. And finally,
long overdue.
Can I just have a quick guess?
Go on.
Who came second?
Go on.
Verstappen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looked like it was so going to be a McLaren.
So close.
Genuinely. To be fair though, towards the end, it actually looked like it was going to be Ferrari 1-2. So it was honestly incredible.
Ferrari came 8th and 10th, Jesse, just to mention.
Oh right, yeah.
It came 8th and 10th. So when Charlie 1 and 2.
However, no, it did. It genuinely did look like they were going to come on a 1-2, but I think they made a risky strategy call, and the strategy call should have worked. It just so happened it didn't. In all fairness, to me, as a Ferrari fan, I'm so used to seeing them make strategy calls where I just think, why on earth would you do that? This was one that could have had a high payoff. It was risky, and Ferrari normally wouldn't make it that kind of call. They made that call, however you want to call it. They obviously went wrong, but it was finally a risky call that I feel like they should be making. They should be making these sort of calls where you think, oh my God, is that going to work? But that's Ferrari. You've got the heart in it. That's why I love Ferrari. Ferrari they're supposed to make these risky decisions. And for the past few years, it has been safe bets that have just turned out wrong, rather than a risky decision that could either win or lose. But I'd rather have that. I'd 100% rather have that.
I think they do what we just did with Jesse with darts, and have someone that's really good, right, give a strategy idea and say...
And they go against it.
And Fred goes, oh my God, that's going to work. That would work perfectly. We're going to do complete opposite of that and see how it goes.
Can we guess then? Albert Park, Verstappen won. No, Verstappen, Lando won.
Lando won, yeah.
What's next? When's the next race?
Well, hang on, I'm not finished, Jesse, so don't
my apologies.
Jesus
my
Christ,
apologies.
shut up.
China.
Okay. So Leclerc came 8th. So basically Ferrari have got some points. Obviously that means we've only got, 4. 4.
Is it? No,
3?
it's not 1. 3. It's 3.
Is it 3? No, it's 4.
Oh, maybe 1 and 3.
Yeah,
yes, 4.
It's 4.
Still 4 points.
However, before you get too cocky, You are not leading, however.
I know,
the constructors. Mercedes are actually leading the constructors, which I genuinely am shocked by, but, great.
But realistically,
it makes it interesting.
If it's anywhere close next week as it is, or is it this week, we'll just take it again because...
Can you imagine if Kimi Antonelli wins the championship on his debut? That would be insanity. So he came in, obviously, he came in at the time we believed under 5th. He actually came in 4th. Congratulations, Kimi Antonelli. I'm so happy about that. So happy.
Even if
because I wasn't sure.
It's still mad.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to be insane. And do you know what? I'm so happy that he's absolutely insanity. How good he is. I'm so glad. Yeah. Behrman, he came in 14th, which, don't get me wrong, obviously in comparison, you can't compare. He's in a Haas compared to Antonelli. He's in a Mercedes. But to finish the race anyway, especially when he had such a bad qualifying, I'm so happy that he managed to finish the race.
14th isn't last. Don't get me wrong. He was last outside.
I mean, he technically is last in every sense.
Again, in a hard, and Kimi is in a Mercedes, and Mercedes is looking amazing. It is looking very good car. So obviously, and it's sad for Behrman because I reckon if they put them both in the same car, I reckon Behrman might have a little bit of an edge on Kimi.
No, not in a million years. I think Kimi. No, I back Kimi so much.
Debut F1 was better than Kimi's.
I back Kimi too much. So much. It's unreal. Hulkenberg finished 7th, which, really upsetting seeing as I really wanted to hate Hakimi.
Sure,
however,
I don't like Hulkenberg, but there's one person we need to talk about.
I know, I need to mention, and it's so upsetting.
Forget about everyone else.
So someone came above Hulkenberg at 7th. Lance Stroll came 6th.
I know this guy's not good.
Lance Stroll came 6th.
I didn't watch race.
I can't believe I have to say those words.
How do we say this politely? Inebriated. But what happened?
Stroll.
We were peppered.
Stroll
came 6th.
Lance Stroll not just came 6th. Lance Stroll got points.
He got
points.
How did that happen? This week we're at Shanghai.
Is that the 120? Yeah, 120. Come on.
So, Jess.
Yeah.
As someone who knows nothing about F1, what is your prediction? Who's going to win?
So this is where I get the gut feeling that the big dog's going to win, and I think Verstappen is going to take it.
You think Verstappen's going to take it? Interesting. Cart?
Norris. He's on a roll now. He's got that feeling. He's got that...
So...
Yeah. Oh, it'll be his first 2 in a row, by the way. Yeah, Norris hasn't won 2 wins in a race since F3, Formula 3, when he won the championship in Formula 3. So it's been that long. He will do it. He will do it.
So obviously, Paul says Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to go out here. I'm going to say, I think in his second race, I think Kimi Antonelli is going to take it. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I just have a feeling.
He's not going to win.
I just have a feeling. I actually have a feeling.
Look, Kimi's very impressive. It's amazing for his debut race. Absolutely. Fantastic.
This is the madness that Lewis Hamilton did on his. So, honestly...
Yeah, he's not Lewis Hamilton, John.
He could be. He's
not.
He could be.
He's storm.
Yeah.
And it goes bright, sunset, the sun's beaming, Leclerc's going in his red Ferrari, and then it just bang turns into the pouring rain, and you can see Verstappen, the sparks are flying, and they both, I'm pretty sure, win. Right, guys, thank you so much for listening in. Follow us and everything. We're on X, we're on Instagram, TikTok especially, because we're doing better on that for some reason. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are on, so please give us a listen. We're getting downloads, we're getting views, we're getting listens, and we love it every time we see how many people are listening, how many people are downloading. We're absolutely loving it. So thank you very much, whoever is listening out there. We really do appreciate it. Next week will probably be an interesting one. We'll probably have more to talk about. So please tune in. Please listen to the other ones that you haven't listened to.
Just listen to them all.
Listen to them all. Just listen to them all. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you very much, guys. And until next week, au revoir.
Up the Rams!
Bye.
Come on!